what is good and what is holy and what is pure. The question today is, are you staying with what is good? Are you staying with what is holy? Are you staying with what is pure? Are you conducting yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Jesus Christ? That's the question you have to ask yourself. That's the question you have to grasp. Are you getting it? Are you grasping it? Are you coming together? Now, I told you I was going to come back up, and I normally don't skip, but I want to come back up to this part where it says, I will hear that you are standing firm in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a meeting. My goodness, Sherry, I hate meetings. And I don't hate meetings because getting together and sitting together and talking with people, that's not the bad part. The bad part of the meeting is when you get ready to discuss something. And you say, okay, I believe we should do this. And then, of course, people who've been in these meetings totally know what I'm talking about. No, that's really not a good idea. You should do this. You can get 5 people in a room and ask an opinion, and there are 5 different opinions, and when you leave the meeting, you come up with no solution. If you've ever been in a meeting like that, you know exactly how frustrating that is. And I have been in a lot of them over my lifetime. Just frustrating, because you thought you were going to go in and accomplish something, and nothing gets accomplished. Instead, 4 other opinions, and that famous word. I hate this word. If you've been in meetings, you know, well, we'll table that discussion. Oh, I hate that word. And that's just me personally, but the reality is so many times we have so many different opinions. And when it says standing firm with one spirit and one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel, I think we need to be careful. Okay? We as Christians need to be careful. You know, I was in my soldiership class, and I believe we were talking about doctrine number 7 and doctrine number 8. And I said, these 2 doctrines, they're pretty much solid. If people don't agree with this, then I have some worries about their Christianity. And if I got the numbers wrong, I'm sorry, but I believe regeneration by faith and faith in God, and the 8th one is being justified by faith through grace in our Lord Jesus Christ. There were those 2 doctrines. And the reality is this. Those are 2 things that you cannot really compromise on, because that's what you should be doing. You should be striving together for one mission and one goal. And the reality is this. What are you striving for? And you see, here's the reality. You can strive for a lot of things. You can go after a lot of things, but how are you conducting yourselves? How are you behaving? What are you focused on? What's your attention on? What are you looking at? And you see, if your focus is on God, you know, I said it during the prayer time, nothing will keep your eyes away from Him. And God says, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. And if you're of one mind and one spirit, and you're striving for God, nothing is going to stand in your way. The enemy puts things in your way. Sometimes he puts people right beside you who you think are of the same mind and are not. They have other interests and other pursuits and other reasons for why they're engaged. Ask yourself this question today. Who are you pursuing? Ed, if you would play Spirit of the Living God, fall fresh on me. Who are you focused on this morning? Are you conducting yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Jesus Christ? Are you letting God be your lead? This altar is open. And it will be open. And just so we're clear, it's always open. If you come up here and you start praying while I'm talking, I'm going to keep talking, but you keep praying. Because this altar is a place where you can come to God. It's a place where the distractions leave. It's a place where the distractions don't get in your way. Because you're focused on what God is, and who God is, and what God's going to do in your life. What choice are you going to make today? Are you going to continue to let other people decide, or are you going to let God be the conductor of your life? You know, I said it earlier. Anytime you say to someone, hey, you want the stick? They come and take the stick. But the reality is, when you're going to say, God, I release the stick and I'll listen. That's you. That's your choice. Gospel